Mortal Kombat is a worldwide phenomenon, a revolution in the fighting game industry until the mid-90s when it stepped down from its throne during its transition into 3D, only to return with a vengeance in 2011. Join MKSecrets as we review the history of the franchise that changed our childhood, our future, and the world of fighting games forever. In 1996, two teams were formed at Midway to work on two parallel Mortal Kombat titles. Ed Boon and his team focused on the development of the next major installment of the fighting game series. At the same time, John Tobias and his team wanted to explore the background stories of the characters and focused on the very first action-adventure game of the franchise. A decision was made to connect the characters and the story of the two games so that people who have played them both could be immersed in the world of Mortal Kombat as never before.
Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero.
Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero was released for PlayStation in October 1997. A Nintendo 64 version appeared in December 1997. The game was the first of several planned Mortal Kombat titles to explore the origins of key characters of the franchise. The story takes place before the events of the first Mortal Kombat game and shows the Lin Kuei warrior, Sub-Zero, on a quest to return the amulet of the fallen elder god Shinnok, which he was hired to steal at the beginning of the game. Whilst on his journey, Sub-Zero meets Scorpion, and the player is introduced to the beginning of the rivalry between the two fighters. The story is told with the help of full-motion videos created with live actors playing the characters against a green screen and 3D special effects. The cinematic videos were replaced with static images in the Nintendo version due to the limited storage space of the cartridge. The official website of the game included a detailed story section which explained the background of the characters, starting with the creation of the reality, the Elder Gods, and the battle between Shinnok and the God of Thunder, Raiden. To create a more realistic and dark atmosphere for the game, the developers created the levels and some of the bigger enemies entirely in real-time 3D, whilst using digitized live actors for the human characters. Familiar faces from past games returned to bring old and new characters to life. Mortal Kombat Mythologies would be the last Mortal Kombat game to use digitized graphics.
Die, Lin Kuei!
With a heavy focus on the story, the game introduced a plethora of new characters. Some of them quickly became fan favorites and have since played important roles in the Mortal Kombat franchise. Shinnok, a fallen elder god and ruler of the Netherrealm. Quan Chi, a free-roaming sorcerer, powerful in the black arts. He is on a quest to restore Shinnok's powers, which are locked inside the amulet. Fujin, the god of wind and one of the protectors of the amulet. He and the other three elemental gods must ensure that the amulet never falls into the wrong hands. Serena, a demon from the Netherrealm. She is one of the three assassins who serve Shinnok. Unlike the other two, she has an agenda of her own. And the Grand Master of the Lin Kuei.
Enough!
A concept of a hellhound, a demonic dog-like creature, made its way online during the production of the game. However, its fate remains a mystery, as it does not appear in the final version. Several other changes were made during the development of the game, including an alternate ending in which Sub-Zero returns to his clan after failing his mission.
the root of our evil.
Just like in any other game of the franchise, secrets are an important part of Mythologies. Depending on the decisions made by the player, several details of the story and the outcome of the game can be altered. Although good, many of the players considered the 2D gameplay and graphics outdated when compared to the very popular and new at the time 3D games. The game was also criticized for its difficulty and controls unfit for an action-adventure title with platform elements. Most problematic was the use of a separate button to turn the character around. In spite of these things, the game sold over 1 million copies worldwide and was regarded a commercial success. This led to the creation of a portable version in 1998. Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero ends with the introduction of a familiar character leading directly to the first Mortal Kombat.
It seems your exploits have caught the eye of another sorcerer. I would like you to meet the retainer of your services. His name is Shang Tsung, and he would like you to compete in a small tournament. It's called Mortal Kombat.
In the late 90s, the arcades were overtaken by three-dimensional fighting games which overshadowed their 2D counterparts, with a number of fighting game franchises stepping into or already present in the new 3D arcade fighting arena. It was time for Mortal Kombat to take full advantage of the new technology. Mortal Kombat 4 was released in the same year as Mythologies and introduced the fighting game series to the new and very popular at the time, third dimension. The development faced significant problems and short deadlines, which resulted in 3 significantly different from each other public revisions. The team at Midway, and especially Ed Boon, was concerned about the effect the introduction of the 3D elements and graphics could have on gameplay. A decision was made to keep this aspect as true to the original concept as possible. As a result, the gameplay is very similar to the previous installments. A few enhancements were introduced to keep the experience new and fresh. Mortal Kombat 4 runs on Midway's own hardware called Zeus. This technology is reported to be 10 times faster than Nintendo 64, which was considered an incredible achievement. Some of the Zeus features were created based on requests from the game's development team. As a result, Mortal Kombat 4 is one of the best-looking fighting games of its time, with highly detailed characters and backgrounds. In addition, the game offers fast gameplay while smoothly running at 60 frames per second.
Thousands of years ago, in a battle with the fallen elder god known as Shinnok, I was responsible for the death of an entire civilization. To rid all realms of Shinnok's menace, I waged a war that plunged the Earth into centuries of darkness and banished Shinnok into a place called the Netherrealm. Now, after Shao Kahn's defeat at the hands of Earth's warriors, Shinnok has managed to escape his confines in the Netherrealm. The war is now being fought once again. Only this time, it can be won by mortals.
Mortal Kombat 4 offers a smaller cast than the previous two installments. Several of the most iconic fighters of the franchise returned, and they all retained their original special and finishing moves. The story is a direct continuation of the story that starts in Mythologies, and 3 of the new characters from the action-adventure game appear here as well. Shinnok, the fallen elder god, overtakes the realm of Edenia and uses it to launch an attack on the heavens and the other elder gods. Quan Chi, after freeing the evil elder god from his confines, he is granted the highest position among his ranks. Unknown to his master, he has an agenda of his own. Fujin, the god of wind, and one of the last surviving earth gods after the attack on the heavens. In addition to these characters, several new characters were introduced to expand the roster. Kai, a former member of the White Lotus Society and friend of Liu Kang. Jarek, the last member of the Black Dragon. This character carries such a strong resemblance to Kano that fans speculated that he was indeed planned for the game, but had to be replaced to make room for new characters. Reiko, a former general of Shinnok. He resurfaces to lead the forces of darkness into the battle against the Elder Gods. One of the biggest mysteries of the game revolves around this character and his connection to the Emperor of Outworld, established in the non-canon endings of the home versions. Tanya, as the daughter of an Endenian ambassador to New Realms, she betrays her own world by helping Shinnok and his army invade it.
Well done.
The arcade version of Mortal Kombat 4 has only one secret fighter who appeared in its 3rd revision. This character started off as the victim of a finishing move until eventually the developers decided that it would be an interesting idea to make him playable. Unlike the previous hidden characters, Meat does not have his own moves or story. He instead borrows the moves of every other character. Many significant changes and slight alterations were made during the production of the game, and even the amount of playable characters shifted from revision to revision. A big part of the development of Mortal Kombat 4 was made without the final hardware. At that time, a version of Asteroids was implemented as a bonus game, but the team did not have time to port it over to Zeus once the switch was made. According to the rumors, Serena was among the considered characters. Mortal Kombat 4 is, surprisingly enough, the first game to remove an already playable character during the development. The mysterious black ninja, Noob Saibot, appears as a selectable fighter in the early betas, and was even shown to the public. Unfortunately, he never made it into any of the major revisions. A combat code called Noob Saibot mode exists in the game. Its effect, however, remains unknown. Noob Saibot is a hidden, selectable character in the home versions, where he shares many special moves with Reiko. Several previously unseen gameplay features are introduced. Exchangeable weapons. While limited for today's standard, they played a significant role in the gameplay of most of the characters and bring much needed diversity between them. Each character has their own weapon, but can also pick up and use any other. Limited sidestepping and interactive arenas, with objects that can be picked up and thrown at the opponent. The combo system of the game is similar to the one seen in previous installments. In early revisions, most of the characters had really powerful combos and infinities, which needed to be corrected. Maximum damage was introduced to automatically break combos after a predefined amount of damage is caused.
Excellent.
Mortal Kombat 4 was a financial success and was accompanied by an aggressive advertising campaign.
The new arcade game is causing quite a sensation.
Mortal Kombat 4. A new Mortal Kombat hits a new level of violence.
Meet Mortal Kombat 4, the latest horror in violent video games for your kids.
We took a look at games like this one, but are they just games, or could they have long-term effects on violent behavior in our society?
The Mortal Kombat 4 Road Tour is something that's never been done before in the video game world. We're taking Mortal Kombat 4 on the road to select cities around the country, and we're providing players a sneak preview, an exclusive sneak preview of the game a full month before anyone else in the world will see it.
This is a product that will cause the kids to be standing 5 deep, waiting to play, because it is so much more exciting than anything that's in the market right now or anything that's been introduced in the market over the past few years.
I'm here to play Mortal Kombat 4.
It's just because it's Mortal Kombat, everybody's going to play it.
I wanted to be the first to play it.
Shinnok wins. Fatality.
Crushing pound of the mallet. The shattering blow of the club. The slashing edge of the blade. They call to you. Mortal Kombat 4. Darkness is calling.
Mortal Kombat 4 was released for home systems in the summer of 1998. A Game Boy version also appeared in the same year and was based on the engine used for Mortal Kombat 3. The developers of the home ports wanted to keep the original frame rate of the arcade version, as lowering it would have hurt the gameplay. To achieve this, the graphics had to be significantly reduced due to the immense power of the arcade hardware. Lower resolution, less detailed characters, missing arena elements. This came as a shock mostly to PC owners who always enjoyed nearly perfect ports of the arcade games. Several exclusive features were added to enhance the overall experience. New game modes, one additional background, playable version of Noob Saibot, alternative outfits for all characters, full motion videos for the disc versions, and more. Goro returned as a hidden playable boss character. Ed Boon always wanted to include a big boss fighter in the arcade version, but this never happened due to time constraints. Goro was developed at Midway for the home ports but using the arcade game. According to the development team, one of the in-house arcade machines has a playable version of the character. The developers of the home version wanted to include Katana, but did not have enough time to finish her. Her code and model were not removed from the released game and are still accessible using cheats and trainers. A second new arena was also left unfinished, and it can be activated just like Katana.
That's the bomb.
A Mortal Kombat 4 comic book was released with the PC version. It tells the events that lead up to the game, including the attack on the Elder Gods and the invasion of Edenia. A combined soundtrack from the last two games was also released. It offered 23 tracks, 3 of which were developed but never actually used in Mortal Kombat 4. Mortal Kombat 4 was the last game of the franchise to be released in the arcades. While praising the great visuals and the return to the dark atmosphere, the fans criticised the lack of innovation in the design, the story, and the special moves of some of the new characters. With the arcade scene dying in the late 90s, Mortal Kombat 4 was unable to become as popular as the previous games. 5 years shall pass before another major installment of the fighting game series would try taking the franchise in yet another new direction.